Namaskar. Regret for the small delay. A lot of things happening. I just wanted to make sure I lined up everything right. I have a small slide deck to share with you. And if you could just like this video, I would be much obliged. This conspiracy is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. 50,000 people, over 32 plus cars used, maybe 25 or 28 to do something. 50,000 people was the goal. And looks like somebody was watching 𝗟𝗘𝗙𝗿 𝗢𝗍𝗫 𝗀𝗫𝗍𝗫, and for that they also had planned of using drone-like attacks, like what happened on October 7, 2023. That's the date that the Hamas attacked Israel. I mean, where is this imagination taking them? And what exactly is going on? Nobody seems to be able to figure out the width and breadth of this, and so much hatred. To what end? Anyway, this is something that psychiatrists can figure it out. You and I perhaps are looking at more day-to-day things. So let's just take a quick look at a slide deck, and a request to all of you to please like this video. Here we go. Delhi blast plot included a Hamas-style drone attack. How do you weaponize this? How do you weaponize a drone in a situation like this? That's a question that's on many people's minds. So the white-collar terror module that was behind the Delhi blast, they were planning to modify drones and build rockets for use before the November 10th strike near Red Fort. So the date of when they wanted to carry out this operation looks like that was fixed. October 7, 2023 attack, they sent by drones. They also came, these were like, parasailing, something like that. Whether there were drones that brought them down or not, we don't know. So this sounds too fanciful, if you ask me. In a place like India, where things are very crowded, would it have been possible? Well, looks like there is reason to believe something exactly like that happened. The NIA arrested 𝗤𝗙𝗵𝗏 alias Danish, a resident of Anantnag. He worked closely with the suicide bomber Dr. Umar Nabi, providing technical assistance. His arrest follows the capture of Amir Rashid Ali, the first module member arrested in Delhi. Somewhere, I'm trying to see what exactly is the motivation here. So October 7th is 2 years ago. Looks like they started almost immediately. This looks like a good thing to do in India. Is that what they had in mind? Danish had expertise in modifying drones, designing them to carry heavier explosives, enhanced batteries, and HD camera system. I was going to say, if you want a drone to carry a human being, it needs to be able to lift about 200 pounds or 75 kilos or more than that. How are they going to do that? I mean, that requires serious amount of modification. And looks like he knew how to create powerful weaponized drones capable of carrying commercial grade bombs. And they also found evidence that the module was also experimenting with locally assembled rockets, indicating preparations for a series of advanced attacks beyond the suicide blast. These would have been used after the November 10th suicide bombing. Sources reveal that the module intended to fly a weaponized drone over densely populated areas to inflict maximum casualties. So it looks like it was not a human being that they wanted to carry on the drone. They wanted to carry heavy payload of bombs and other things that would explode on contact on the ground, and they would have dropped it off and to cause maximum casualties. This aligns with the strategies used in Syria and Gaza, where terror groups rely on cheap, small aerial systems for mass casualty strikes. And these are some modern warfare parallels. They are noting that that there are strong similarities with Hamas's low-cost, high-impact drone warfare model, signaling a disturbing shift in India's domestic terror landscape. The attack model shows an attempt to replicate urban drone warfare tactics adopted globally by radical groups. The module represents a doctors of death operational style involving educated individuals with technical skills. NIA is tracking multiple leads to uncover other potential members and collaborators who may be linked to international terror organizations. The count is going up, viewers. I still haven't seen any update on the number of doctors missing in Al-Falah. Al-Falah now, it turns out, doesn't even have an operating license to run a medical college. That's the other thing that is coming up. Then how are they managing to recruit people? Was this actually a terror factory in the name of a medical college? Because everybody sees the board, medical college, oh, it must be something good. And how many people innocently joined up thinking they would get a doctor's degree here? This is scary. I tell you, honestly, this is scary. The way these things are being morphed, the way these are being taken, and people have some assumptions. If there is somebody who's well educated, he's probably not going to be of a terrorist mindset. All these assumptions that we make in day-to-day lives, everything is being disproved, and it's really sad when I see that ideology trumps what you have learned in college to save lives, and you want to take lives. What kind of a doctor does that? Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Let's try and see if there's any questions here. There is one question. Gamers Galore says, the talk is US-India trade deal is almost done. Precursor being LPG trade. Can you clarify if this is true? See, the challenge for the Trump administration is right now they need to make something happen. If it doesn't happen, then a lot of other things are going to fall behind. I hope you saw the monologue where I detailed all the major private military contractors for the US Army. When you looked at where they were sourcing their components from, 85 to 90% was being sourced from China, which means just like they blackmailed Japan first and then the United States and also India with the rare earths deal, they could do that thing with all these things, components needed for weaponry. I'm willing to bet that even the manufacturing was done in China, and perhaps they just brought it here to do some final checks, maybe some software modification, some IP level addition here, and that's how they take a $5,000 product into a $5 million product. There was a guy, Ross Perot, who made his millions selling $700 toilet seats to the army. $700 toilet seats. We're talking about 60s and 70s, and these are, there was no bidet or anything at that point of time. It is just that thick 1-inch thing that flips up or down. That thing, toilet seat, $700 in those days. So it can be done. It has been done in the past. But the military buy stuff which is way, 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 way expensive. Be that as it may, what is going on? What will America do? They need, like I said in a previous monologue also, they need a reliable partner who can scale up like China has been able to do. And that I look left, right, center, and also at the cost that China is doing it. There is nobody else except India. Even India may not be able to bring down the cost as low as China has been able to, which is why China is trying to not allow some of the more advanced manufacturing equipment like robotic assembly machines, or things that make, iPhone, the things that go into the components of iPhone. These things are being slow walked, sometimes not even given. So there is a real problem there. Tim Cook probably engages somebody to go and, coax, cajole, whatever, the Chinese officials to allow those things to be exported to India. So the warfare is not fair. See, and China is doing using every dirty trick in the book to somehow delay India's rise as a manufacturing power, because it knows that once India rises, everybody will go there and it loses its business. Right now, China is in deep doo-doo. And the GDP, if you properly count it, like the way others count it, it will be probably in the negative. They keep saying that they have 4%, 5% growth. But, a lot of the stuff is being suppressed. I'm tired of talking about Endgame, because many of you are, making fun. Oh, you are 103 episodes of China's Endgame with Sumit Peer. What is going on? China is a big country. It doesn't end just in one day. It's going to take some time. Be that as it may. So you understand that this is not so easy, and it's going to take some time. And also India needs to be able to have the wherewithal to start doing the basic components that make up the bigger components. For example, yes, India is the second biggest cell phone manufacturer in the world. Yes, it is manufacturing 15 to 20% of all iPhones marketed outside the world over. But how much of the basic technology is India doing? Screws. I mean, if you take a look at some of the newer models, I have one model, but I don't have it here. This one has 3 cameras on the back side and 1 camera on the front. These 3 cameras are quite powerful. They can zoom in and out. They have like micro motors that can be made to go and stick on an object, do correct dark light corrections and things, lighting corrections and things of that nature. And I have an iPhone 12. Today we are at iPhone 17. 5 revs later, much more potent stuff. So all these things are actually moving parts in a static phone. And are Indian engineers capable of doing that? Yes. But then first they need to strip down a working model, understand all these components, get the measurements. Where did they get them from? It's not just one company in China that does this. Many companies probably did that. Everything came together to what is that company? Softcon? I know I'm getting it wrong. The manufacturing, Foxconn, and then they are doing it. So Foxconn also could be, trying to make these things in India itself. But again, that is Foxconn. That's not an Indian company. What if Foxconn changes its mind and goes to an even cheaper location, say Bangladesh? What does one do? So what I'm trying to say is India needs to have its own story, its own, make in India. That's why the 𝗟𝗡𝗙𝗿 mode. So let's hope that this free trade deal happens and India starts manufacturing some of the high-end weaponry for America. I don't think America has the time or the STEM bandwidth, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, I think. Manpower. India can provide that, but India needs to grow up fast, learn some of the more advanced tricks of the trade and so on and so forth. It's going to be an interesting next 5 years, viewers. That's all I think. Sorry, I'm giving you a very long answer for a short question, but Gamers Galore says, we need to take a page out of China and have cameras everywhere to monitor public for safety. Social credit score might be good idea. I mean, I think that's not in our DNA. It's not in our DNA. We like to live our life free. I think this thing will be sorted out fairly quickly. These things are not what the average, man or woman is thinking, and it's just a matter of time. And of course, some checks will have to be done. I don't know what kind of checks will be done, but there will certainly be more surveillance cameras, especially in places where large numbers of people assemble. Manov-san wants to know, will we end up in a drone race with society having to resort to even more sophisticated drone technology for security purposes? Won't this lead to an all-powerful state with citizens made weaker? Well, M is medicine. I thought it was math. Anyway, STEM. Whatever, STEM, that's an acronym that stuck for a long time. Drone race, see again, for the components that make up the drone race, you need a whole bunch of magnets, a whole bunch of anti-gravity stuff that, using magnets that you can create anti-gravity, which means you have to have a fan spinning and pulling itself up or pushing air down, one of the two. So all these things, where is the technology for all that? How much of that is homegrown in India? Nothing. So we have a long way to go to attain Atmanirbharta. Even 10-20% import substitution, that should be the goal. 20% first year, 40% second year, and so on and so forth. Let's see. PGurus 1, what jokes? China suppressing India's manufacturing rice. Biggest joke of 2020. Go to India and tell me what one thing is not a Chinese product. China manufactures everything. What do you think I said? Stupid idiot. Anyway, these things happen once in a while. So thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. It's a little worrisome that the educated people, so-called intelligentsia and Kashmir, are indulging in this kind of stuff. The mindset needs to change and needs to change fast. So some corrections have to be made within the Kashmir Valley also. I think I am completely, disappointed that taxpayer money I pay taxes in India. Taxpayer money is being wasted on this move, Darbar move, not needed. You have been running it from Srinagar for a long time now. Why do you need to move to the Jammu? Just because somehow this falls under the state government of Umar Abdullah, and they probably said, okay, let's do it and waste people's money. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.